Yo, what's up, people of YouTube? SoresanCrockxen here to bring you an anime review. And I wasn't actually planning on doing any of these, something like this. But I think that this is something that I really want to talk about because it's an anime I just recently finished, like 10 minutes ago. It's called Deadman Wonderland. Now, this it's a very intriguing anime, to say the least. It's really confusing and fucked up in so many ways. And the thing, okay, so in the first episode, we get introduced to the main character. His name's Gonta, and he's in his classroom, and then they're talking about this exciting field trip to this place called Deadman Wonderland, which is a prison, which was made in Tokyo, Japan. It's focused on real world type of thing. And it's based in Japan after a massive. They don't even explain what the heck it was. It's called the Red Hole. And basically, what happened is Tokyo just basically was done. It was obliterated. But they don't elaborate on that, which is kind of confused the fuck out of me. But it kind of shows the tone for the rest of the episode. But the point is, after, I don't even remember how long, I think they said 5-6 years after that incident, they built a prison. It's a privately owned prison. Now, if you know, most prisons ever made are owned by the government. So they're, you go there and the government's the one that pays using the people's taxes. But this is a private owned, prison. Now, the funny thing is that it was made on top of where the initial start of the Red Hole occurred, which is suspicious, which is why every year the prison has to go through a inspection. I can't even talk. An inspection made by the government. Now, the way this goes is that the kids, in this I think they were 14. They were all excited. Oh, we're going on a field trip. But what happens is that this guy comes in out of nowhere. He's floating in midair, and they're on the third floor. They even said, "I'm on the third floor. What the heck?" And Gantz is actually the first person who sees him, and he's the only one that sees him until he's like, "What the heck?" And everybody turns "Oh my gosh, who the heck is that?" And then after that, this big huge gust of wind comes in, and basically to this big explosion inside the classroom. And then it cuts to black, and then when we come back, we see Gonta staring, around. He's like, "What the heck's going on?" And you see, blood spattered everywhere and shit. What the heck happened here? And you see the guy, which he's wearing a white outfit, which I guess, I don't know what. I guess that symbolizes blood or something. I don't know, but he essentially when he sees him, he's like, "Red Man," and he actually sees he has two friends, and it's damn it, I don't even remember. I just saw this I just finished it tonight. But anyways, they're only there for the first episode. That's the main point. Damn, do they really not say their names? Pisses me off. Hold on. Yeah, this is what the heck. Okay, anyway, so he has two friends, this guy and this chick. And he actually had to see his chick friend, literally, dead. The guy just, grabbed her, put her on the floor, and, she's dead. And then the fucked up thing is that he gets arrested? Literally, that's how the whole story starts. He gets arrested. And the freaking part that kind of irritated me about this season is that they don't explain the trial. They just cut to him getting sentenced. And I was like, where's the evidence? He's the only one that survived. Oh, and also, he gets this crystal implanted in his chest. That actually has a point later on. But he gets convicted without evidence? And then here's the fucked up part. The guy who appointed himself as his lawyer made this whole trial worse for him. Because he came out like a nice dude. He's like, "I'm going to do everything in my power to help you." and you know, so it's pretty legit. Like, okay, I was like, this guy, he just comes in, he's like, I'm gonna help you, and then it just skipped to the trial, and he gets convicted. And I was like, how in the world did you have the evidence to convict this 14-year-old boy of massacring his entire class? Just because he was the only survivor does not mean he committed terrorism. It made no sense. Like, that literally is the only thing that bugs me out of this entire series, or this season. Because I mean, it's still one season. Supposedly there's a second season coming out. The manga's in hiatus. That's what people are saying. I kind of want to watch more, but like my mind was just fucked because of that first episode. Like, that's what got me intrigued. I was hoping that, you know, they would elaborate on how the fuck, you know, he got convicted, where the evidence came. And here's the fucked up thing: his lawyer screwed him over because what he did was, when he actually explained how that there was a video. Like, these guys are high tech. Like, I love it. It was like in the year 2017. So, like, apparently we have high technology. But the point is, that you get a phone, and then you flip the screen, and then you actually get to see, like, this little mini TV screen. Or, like, it's just, like, a glass pane looking thing. And then it's like a TV, and it actually, like, shows the news. And apparently there was somebody recording him talking to his lawyer, and he's like, oh, yeah, I totally did it because I felt satisfaction killing my own friend. Like, if you kill someone you don't know, it doesn't have the same satisfaction as killing someone else. I'm like, how the fuck did this come to be? Like, I saw what happened, and why the fuck would he lie? And later on in the series, the season, you actually get to see how the fuck that video came to be. As a matter of fact, he goes to jail, and he's put through this, I mean, this jail's just fucked up to begin with. The way they get money is by putting the prisoners in shows, you know, making them do stupid things or sing, dance, you know, a bunch of nonsense just so the prison can get, you know, people to come. It's a tourist site. You know, they actually have like a carnival thing, and then you can actually watch the prisoners make fun of, you know, look retarded. And they pay the prison, and then that's how they get, you know, all their supplies and shit. And apparently, like, when the guy that put him in jail is the promoter, and apparently his job is to get people in jail. Like, what the fuck? I thought the main point of a jail is to keep people out of it, not try to get people in there. But anyways, moving on, like, they put Gonta in a game, and he actually meets this chick called Shiro, who becomes his best friend later on. And there's this thing about Shiro that I'm not even going to mention in this video, but if you do watch the series, you're going to be like, what? But anyway, so, like, they have to play this game, and they have to go through this, it's like an obstacle course. And it's fucked up because since Gonta is in it, the promoter made it to where the games were harder. Basically, if you mess up, you die. That's how it was. And they made it be like, it's a show, it's not really happening. That was literally what they said to them. It's like, it's a show, it's not happening. You know, these guys aren't really dying or whatever. But they actually were. Like, you actually saw them get their bodies chopped in half. People were falling into water that was electrocuted. I was like, what? But the point is, like, Gonta's failed so bad that actually Shiro, like, with her awkwardness, made it to where she was helping him by messing up herself. Like, I don't know how that worked, but apparently every time she messed up or she did something funny and weird, like, she would save her from imminent death. And then the final stage, like, they actually had to fight this guy who's a complete asshole. Like, literally, he was just a dick. Like, he's like, oh, I'm the boss of this place, you gotta respect me. He's like the guy you want to stay with in prison. Like, he's the guy that's gonna rape you. Yeah, because he's like the tough guy. But anyways, so it ends up being Shiro, Gonta, and this guy. And it's like a platform. And apparently you have to hold this ball until the very end. And basically the platform starts falling, the platform's divided. And they start falling off. They actually pull in an arrow to be like, hey, move over here so you don't fall. Like, they actually tell you, hey, this one's going to fall next. And they fall, you know, in sequence and shit. And then, you know, they're going crazy. Gonta has the ball for the entire period of the game until he passes it to Shiro. And this guy is just an ass. He's just like, wow. Like literally, he's just running all over the place trying to kill Ganta. Like his main target is Ganta. He doesn't even care about the ball at this point. But the funny thing is, like, he gets to the point where Ganta's in this platform and he's like over here, and he's got a like they actually give him the arrows. Hey, it's like 5 arrows that are gonna fall, and there's another one over here which is not gonna fall, and he has to get over there before they start falling. They actually start falling, and he slides and ends up falling off the edge of the other one and dies. Like I was like, what? Seriously? But yeah, so it's now Shiro and Ganta, and then Shiro starts like her block starts falling down. And she throws the ball at Ganta, and it's like this epic dramatic moment. And then he chooses to save her and said, fuck the ball. Like, literally, people were so pissed because there was no winner. And I was like, what? That's good. That's sportsmanship right there. Shit, I would be like, excited. I'd be like, yeah, give me more of that. I'll pay extra. But anyway, so the point of the story goes on to where he has some powers made from your blood. That's what they call Deadman. They can use their blood essentially to create weapons. His gets called later on the Ganta gun. Basically what he does is that he gets cut or whatever, and then he uses the blood and he can make like a Rasengan type thing. No, it literally looks like the Rasengan when it's forming. And it gets to his hand and then he shoots it at you. Depending how much blood he uses, the stronger it is. But later on, you find out that actually, when you make less and sharper, you can actually make it stronger. And you can actually use like Sonic. It's called the Sonic Ganta Gun Blast. Basically, it just makes it smaller and sharper so that it goes faster, and then it causes more damage because it's going at the sound of speed, or the speed of sound. And there's like a whole organization. Like there's A through F blocks, right? And then there's a command center in the middle. That's how the prison's divided. But because the promoter is a promoter, he actually gets these people who have this power and puts them in a G block, which is underground, and has them fight for the entertainment of the rich people. And I was like, what the fuck? It pissed me off. This guy just became more hated for me. But anyway, so what it does is it creates these fights between two dead men. Two people who have blood powers. And the reason why they go down to begin with is because Ganta hears a rumor that the red man is actually down there. So he goes down there with Shiro and this other boy, this other dude, it's not a boy. And they end up finding a way to get in there because Shiro knows how to get there for some weird reason. We know why later, but so they go in there and shit, and then this guy, who they call Crow, which his name's Sanji in real life, but they all have a nickname. They all have a bird nickname because they fight in a bird cage. And Ganta ends up having to fight him in the dead man fight, whatever. He ends up winning random, like there's some random bullshit because Shiro's worried because after they get separated and shit, because she says Ganta's weak, and they actually show that Ganta and Shiro were friends when they were younger, before the red hole incident. But she says that, and they actually show it while he's fighting. Shiro's mentioning it to the other guy. Like, even though he's weak, he always gets back up, which is something like a lot of anime, like especially Shonen Jump anime characters, like main characters, have in common. They do not give up. So what he does is that he eventually like makes it to where he shoots up and then breaks the speakers that falls down, and then obviously what Crow's or Sanji's powers is that he uses the blood to make like scythe blades on his arms, and he was able to cut it, but Ganta used that as a distraction to get close, and then he used the Ganta gun and explode in his face, and he wins. But they become friends through some weird instances because Sanji's like, you're cool because you were able to beat me. Now the fucked up thing about this particular thing is that when you lose, you have to play this game. It's like it's a slot game, so it's a game of chance. Like if you're in a casino, right? But the fucked up thing is that what happens is there's the usual 3 slots, and then this doctor lady pulls the handle, and then you yell stop. When you yell stop and it actually stops, it shows all 3, and you lose a body part. Like, he lost his right eye. Like, they literally, it was so graphic. I was like, oh, Itachi did that. It wasn't that graphic. Like, and you didn't even see it. But no, literally, they used the scissors, they open his eye and they use this thing to like grab it and start ripping it out. I was like, oh, gross. And apparently the point is to research the Deadman. I mean, I just think that's disgusting. And then like he starts meeting other Deadmen, and then eventually he joins this gang who are basically fighting for their freedom. They want to leave. They want to get the fuck out of there because it's a bad place. It's just a bad place. Literally, they're fighting to survive, and then if they lose a body part. Like, seriously, what the fuck kind of messed up prison is that? So, so the point is, like, the last couple episodes is basically just a revolt. And they're introduced to the Undertakers. Now, I don't know why that name, but freaking, I love the Undertaker from WWE, so, like, that's a cool name. But it's basically, they were created to fight the Deadman, created by the promoter to fight the Deadman in case it got out of hand. And apparently now they're more advanced than they used to be because Gonta actually shot one of his Gonta gun blasts at him. And it disintegrated. And then this is when you find out how the video was made. The video from episode 1. There's a guy in this rebel group who then shows a video to everybody saying, hey, no, it didn't disintegrate, he just dodged it. And then later on you find out he changed the video. Like, he changed the footage. And I was like, okay, so this is and he actually tells Gonta, hey, I'm the one that changed the video to make you look guilty. It's like, fucker. Like, and then, actually, we find out he is a bad guy. He actually is working for the other ones. So this rebel group actually gets this chip, which was given to them by him, which contained all the information that they had and shit, blah, 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 blah. They were supposed to get it out to the inspectors that were there. That was the whole plan, based on that inspection. Like, hey, these people from the government are going to come here. We show them this. They shut this place down. We're out of here. They're conducting experiments. They shouldn't do that. But the thing about it is that it was a bomb. So, like, Shiro was actually told that this bomb, she was told to stay. So they went out, do their mission, and shit. And then Shiro comes out of nowhere, grabs the freaking chip out of his hand, throws it in the fire, it explodes, blah. And then he's pissed. Like, he punches her in the face. Like, why'd you do that? And then they stop talking. And anyway, it just goes to some bullshit from there. And they actually revolt again. Now their group is smaller because they actually were tricked by this guy and they were killed. Well, the majority of the rebels were killed. There was only like 10 left. And Gonta decides to train because he is weak. And Shiro mentioned that. That's kind of why he punched her. Because she's like, no, you're weak, Gonta. You can't do this. And so he actually decides to train with Crow. And he teaches him how to use the sonic thing, basically. And then that's apparently the only way they can fight the Undertakers, because their new armory lets them disintegrate the blood by oxidizing it. But if it goes at the speed of sound, you can't actually deflect it to make it do that, so you just lose. And that's basically it. Like, they win. They just defeat the Undertakers. And the promoter becomes a new warden because the old warden dies, and he's the grandpa of Shiro, and he died because, I don't know, for some weird reason. But the guys escape, except for Gonta and Shiro. They stayed behind, and some other dead men. And Shiro's like, or Gonta's like, I'm not gonna leave my friends behind. And yeah, like there's a thing there's a gag. There's a running gag in this whole thing, and basically, when you're on death row, because Gonta's on death row, by the way, because he's massacred his whole class supposedly. When you're on death row, you get this collar. I mean, everybody has a collar, which has their ID, but the ones on death row particularly, they have this collar, and it actually injects poison into them. Now, basically, what you have to do, you have to eat this candy, which is an antidote, every 3 days, or you die. And the funny thing is, like, the antidote candy tastes so bad that most people are just, ooh, like Gonta especially, when he eats it, it's a running gag, because he's like, ooh, I want to throw up. But I know I can't, because if I throw it up, I'm going to die, because of the poison. Ooh. And they actually show the effects of the poison because he doesn't eat the candy and he's about to die and you see the poison like all these veins just popping out. He's like, oh, I'm gonna die, and then he's the one that kind of beats the Undertaker, and he calls himself the High Priest because he's here to save them by killing them. I don't know, like some bullshit. He's supposed to be with Buddha. Like, he followed Buddha's practices until... And this is the thing. He became this way because of a fucking cat. Like, I was like, a cat? Seriously? Like, he found this cat, he rescued it, and then it died. And he became, hey, death saves you from all this evil. I was like, what, a fucking cat? Really? But I guess, I mean, yeah. And the opening is cool. I do not like the beginning part, but when it gets towards the end, like midway through the end, I was like, oh, yes. It's like freaking, oh, awesome. I like to sing that part because it's so awesome. And the weird thing is, like, I saw it in Japanese, and the opening's in English. It's in English. I've never seen that before. But I guess that's all. I mean, I do suggest you guys watching it. It is an awesome series. It does fuck up your mind a little bit because of how this works. They don't actually explain how this power occurs. I do hope they talk more about it in season 2. But I guess that's it. I mean, this is just weird. Like, this anime series is like one of those weird ones that you just... Huh? Like, literally, all the time you're like, what? How does that... And so many people die in the most random-ass way. I was like, what the fuck? But, I mean, it's an anime, right? So it happens sometimes. But yeah, I guess that's it for this kind of anime review. Let me know if I'm going to do more of these. I kind of want to. I'm planning on doing... I'm actually going to do later on, like maybe tomorrow. Well, technically today where I live, but Full Metal Alchemist / Brotherhood comparison, because it's an anime. I saw both of them. I thought they were both great, but I do wish to talk about them. But I guess that's it for this anime review. Thank you guys for watching. If you have seen Deadman Wonderland, what did you excuse me, season 1, what did you think of it? Did your mind get fucked as much as mine did? Because it kind of did. And if you haven't, I really do suggest you watch it. If you don't like it, you know, if you do end up watching like the first couple episodes and you don't like it, let me know why. But yeah, I guess that's it for this anime review. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment, or video responses are also welcome. And I guess I'll catch you guys later.